TGIF, right? So glad that we have made it to Friday. You ever have those weeks? I mean, I was telling Dana, I have this theory. I have lots of theories, but this one theory, my theory is the warmer the weather in October, or maybe even the middle of the summer, the longer the week. It just feels like it goes on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? Is that just my imagination, or is that true for you? Or maybe it's just some weeks are longer. I mean, I know, I'll get all these texts. Dan, every day has 24 hours. It doesn't, but some days, some weeks just feel longer than others. This has been one of those weeks. It's not a bad thing. It just, kind of felt like time slowed down and you were in slow motion for some of the day. But Friday is here. Friday is always a magical thing. It's been a magical thing for a lot of us since as long as we can remember, for a variety of different reasons, right? Whether it's because it's your time. That's why I always think, it's my time now. I'm not on company time. I'm not, but of course I'm obligated. If somebody called me, I would have to, I would be obligated. But it's that theory, that idea that, okay, this is mine. I get to do what I want to do with this time. So that being said, that's a good reason for it's Friday. Historically speaking, through your lives, you probably had other meetings. Football Friday night in Texas. Hey, that was a big deal. Whether it was football Friday night because you were going to play football, or it was football Friday night because you were going to watch people play football, or it was football Friday night because you were marching in the band, or football Friday night because you were in the pep squad, or football Friday night because your big brother, you know what I'm saying? It was football Friday night in the state of Texas. That's true. I mean, Friday night lights. I'm a long way removed from high school, but I still, like yesterday, remember what it felt like and how excited you were on Fridays. And then there was also that moment in time probably when Fridays meant date night. That, hey, tonight's the night. Got a date tonight, and it was special. And somewhere along the way, if you're not careful in life, you lose that thrill of the day. And it becomes, it's just another day. Don't want that. Fight that. Make it so that find something that gives you, I don't know, I'm not going to say a thrill, but something that gives you a little excitement in your day. It's not always easy. Some days just aren't. They just aren't. But you get through those. Those are the days that you persevere so that you can have those days. It's about, I know what it is. It's about having something to look forward to. But what we have to look forward to changes as we go through life, right? I mean, that's only natural. You don't look forward to the same things now, I don't, that I did 40 years ago. 40 years ago, it was date night on Friday night. Now, 40 years into marriage later, it's, hey, we get to sit in our recliners and we can watch anything we want and we don't have to do anything. Or it's, we can be at home and we get to enjoy the grandkids. My house, once a week, it's grandkids at night. We keep the grandkids. It's great. They come over here and it's what we've always called historically spend the night, and it's certainly changed. Now that we have 17 and 16-year-olds, it's a lot different. Again, life changes. Good morning to you. I'm Dan Gresham. Deep into this, Dan's just droning on, but deep into this, I'm Dan Gresham. This is my house, or at least a portion of it, and this is the at-home update because it's exactly what it says. We're at home. We're much more casual. It's not like we're sitting in the studio. It's just you and me, and that several hundred other people that are out there that happen to be watching this morning. And I invite you to jump on, talk to other people that are part of our community that we've created here with the update. You can talk to each other. You can talk to me. I'm going to figure out a way, and I'll do it, where we can keep a running post. Right now, I can bring your comments up on the screen. I can create this through the program that I have, where you just see a running, everybody when they pop up. My problem has always been, as a producer for years and years and years of television and live television and thousands of hours of it, I'm always nervous about not pre-screening something, because people will post, and this is true on Facebook, people will post anything and they will say anything because there's no filter. There's no way to say this is inappropriate. Not that your thought is inappropriate, but that your verbiage is inappropriate, that your word choice is inappropriate. And if it's just running all the time on the screen, I don't get to edit that. And I don't feel comfortable with that because I don't want that. That's not what we're doing here. People will troll, people will be ugly, and that's okay. That they just have to. But it doesn't mean we have to. It doesn't mean we have to be part of it. Christine Davis, for example, good morning to you. Thanks for weighing in. Jess is here this morning. Chason is up, as is Bob and Debbie Peck. Also this morning, let's see who else is in with us. Peggy Burton from League Road. I thought for a second it said League City, but League Road. Julie Samuel, good morning to you. Hi, Jeannie Foster. Also up this morning is Allison. Good morning. Carlene is here from Nederland this morning. Carlene, we were talking about exciting. I'm assuming that in Mid-County, it's still exciting no matter what your age or where you are in life. It's Mid-County Madness. Not everybody gets into sports. I get that. But if you're even in the community, I would think, I didn't grow up with that. We had rival games when I grew up, but they were nothing on the par with Mid-County Madness. PNG versus Nederland. First time I ever went to one of those games, I can tell you the date, 1979. First time I went to one of those games. I just moved to Southeast Texas. I was working for the NBC affiliate at the time, KJAC, which was located in Port Arthur. And the first game that I was sent out to cover as a sports reporter here was that game. And I can remember they were like, you need to get there early. I was like, it's a high school football game. How early do you need to be there? I mean, I'd been around football all my life. High school, college, big deal. We'll roll up, walk in, do the game. No. Got there, and there were 10,000 people at this high school football game. 10,000 people on a Friday night. Listen, I played in college games when there weren't 1,000 people, So it was like, wow, this is high school football? I thought I knew high school football. Now, where I grew up, it was Longview versus Marshall. It was Tyler versus John Tyler. It was Lufkin versus Nacogdoches. Those were the rivalry games. But again, and all of those are good rivalries. But I'm telling you, this one is storied. And tonight will be, it looks like the weather's going to cooperate. And the first thing I learned after going to that game, that not everyone who lives in Nederland pulls for the Bulldogs, and not everyone who lives in Port Neches pulls for the Indians, because many of the people who live in Port Neches now grew up in Nederland. Many of the people living in Nederland grew up in Port Neches. So there are all these things that are interweaved there. But another reason, that Friday nights were exciting back in the day, and maybe still for you if you're going tonight. Kelly says, good morning. We're going to mention the voting improprieties happening in Port Arthur. I'm not sure, Kelly, that I know what the voting improprieties are. If you would like to send them to me, I will be glad to look at them. Now, I know that there was a significant issue there because of the fact that you had to have two elections. You had your general election, which were all your national races, all your county races, all your state races, and then you had to have your city election separate because for whatever reason, there was an issue there. But improprieties, I'm not sure about. I've heard of improprieties. I've heard of it, people feeling like they were intimidated. You would need to send that to me. Hazim says, great weather today. I'm ready to get out and find out. Errol, hey, Dan, TGIF, yep. Annie says the same thing, thank goodness. Kathy says, good morning from West Coast, Wisconsin. West Coast? I didn't even know there was a West Coast of Wisconsin. How ignorant am I? That's one of those parts of the country I've always wanted to go to. I've not gotten there yet. I will get to Wisconsin, God willing, because I know it's beautiful country, and I know a lot of people that go that direction. Is it Door County Wisconsin that I have some friends, it seems like, that they go there every year. Hazim says the orange creep will be gone in less than 2 weeks. Also this morning, Shakira says good morning. We're also hearing from Janine. Rain pouring and dropping into the 40s in Dallas. Wow, really? We got our rain, Janine. We got our rain this morning. Some of us got about an inch of rain, but now the sun is out. And we will not see 40s. We will see in the mid 80s today. Jeannie's right. Friday is probably pretty appropriate. Beverly Martinez says, I totally agree. Some weeks seem so long. Nina McCarver, hey, from Mauriceville, sitting here getting tire on car. I hope that's what you're saying. Hope everybody has a great day. Kathy says, very true. Happy birthday to Jan Lowe. Okay, happy birthday, Jan Lowe. I don't know Jan, but happy birthday. But I love the way people talk to each other. April says, good morning, Dan and everyone. And that's kind of the way we do this. It's me, you, and everybody else that's here this morning. Felicia says, good morning, Dan from Orange, Texas. I'm glad I even without my glasses, I can see that's orange, not a lemon this morning. Cindy Grant says good morning from Wildwood, while Dixie says good morning as well. Thompson Falls, Montana. Are you watching from Thompson Falls, Montana? If so, will you save me a spot there in the river? I want to catch one of those. I'd love to go fly fishing in Montana. I have friends that go. I know people that go. That would be a lot of fun. Tom, I guess you're back in Frankfurt, huh? I hope you enjoyed your stay here in the Golden Triangle. He was visiting not too long ago. See, we keep up with each other. That's what we do here. We keep up with each other. We know when people come and go. Penny Duncan, good morning to you as well. Also, hello from Kingsport, Tennessee, says Siska. On vacation. Go Dogs. Kingsport is a nice city to go visit. I saw a friend of mine was on vacation, and if you never get a chance, it will be too bad. But if you get the chance, go. And that is to northern Georgia. Everybody thinks of Georgia as being Atlanta and south, Savannah, that kind of thing. But go north, get up into the mountains of Georgia, and right there at the border, right? South Carolina, Tennessee. Beautiful country. Appalachians, you can, and he showed stuff off his back porch of the house that he was, staying in. Oh, it just immediately made me want to be there. It's a beautiful part of the country. So if you get a chance, go. I know I'm rambling today, but it's one of those days for the first time in a long time, I'm not pressed. It's not something I have to be someplace else this morning in the next 10 minutes. Clint James says, good morning from Bentonville, Arkansas. Love Bentonville, Arkansas for a number of reasons. Does that name ring a bell to anybody else? You know what's in Bentonville? It's the home of Walmart. But not only is it the home of Walmart, it is the home of one of the most beautiful museums you will ever see. And it's from the Walmart family. You should go and check it out. It is... yeah, it's beautiful. I said Appalachians, and she said, no, Blue Ridge Mountains. And you're right, it is Blue Ridge in that part, but it leads right up into the Appalachians. And you can actually start the Appalachian Trail not too far from there, as I understand it, this morning. All right, so go ahead and chime in. Love to hear from you this morning. You can talk about anything you want. You can just tell me, hey, you don't know what you're talking about, and I'll just nod my head and go, yeah, you're right. Because it won't be the first time that I've heard that. But let's go and check out what's happening in your headlines this morning. We'll start things off, KFDM.com. And a couple of different things that I would draw your attention to, and that is talking about, and I think that you have to pay attention to this. No matter what your stance is on mask, no mask, social distancing, large gatherings, you can't ignore, you can't bury your head in the sand when it comes to news about the coronavirus and about the pandemic. Just because we're sick of it, you can't ignore it. And there are some dire warnings that are being issued from some local health experts who say, look, it's going to happen. A lot of people say it's just a matter of time. A lot of experts say we are about 2 weeks behind Europe. You're seeing a spike now, trending dramatically up to the point that they have started putting curfews in place in many places. So don't ignore the warnings. They're there. Here's a story. You can go and hear what some local doctors are saying about winter and a second wave of the coronavirus. Okay? Also, and here's evidence. You have Memorial High School closed down because they had one student. Is that going to be something that's an effective way to manage things through this pandemic? Apparently, Houston ISD does not think so. This is Houston Chronicle. Allison Medley byline says HISD unveils new rules for dealing with COVID-19 infections after outbreak. And it goes on to talk about the fact that it's back to campus this week for all of the HISD campuses. They resumed face-to-face instruction. And of course, they've had some temporary interruptions. And you can see they have 90 confirmed cases. They have their dashboard. So does BISD have a dashboard, and many school districts do, that tell me how many they are. But here's what HISD says they're going to do from this point forward. After reviewing all the procedures with the Houston Health Department, they're going to no longer close campuses with one reported confirmed positive or presumptive case. Any infected or exposed students or staff will be notified, isolated, and if possible, sent home. And the campus will undergo deep cleaning and disinfection overnight. Learning will continue as normal with students and staff remaining in their assigned classrooms throughout the day to limit movement and contacts. In other words, we're not going to shut down a campus if we have one positive. And you would kind of think that would, if they don't do that with as many campuses as they have, and as many campuses as many of the larger districts have, how can you continue having if every time you have a positive case, you shut things down? So that is going to be their new standard. We'll see if others decide to adopt that same idea. All right, so I want to go back to KFDM.com, a couple other stories real quick, and I'll get you out of here this morning. Wouldn't you know it, Jefferson County finally has an in-person trial, and they don't even get through testimony before one of the jurors tests positive for COVID. So then they have to shut it down. Not the way they wanted to go. But they said they will have future in-person jury trials, and they will figure it out. Hey, before you leave me this morning, and I probably should have said this much earlier, before you leave this morning, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. It's just a like, or you can, any other emoji you want. But just give me that before you go so that I can just know you've been here, that you acknowledge the fact that, hey, it wasn't that bad, or let's keep doing this, whatever. But I don't know. Like I said, it's just something I can send along to corporate, and they know, okay, there are people who do occasionally watch this. But all right, so let me just come back. I only have a couple other stories I want to hit you on this morning real quick. That was one. The other is, we were talking about COVID. How bad is it? Well, here's from the Texas Tribune this morning from Julian Aguilar and Sean McCauley, a headline that reads, State sends emergency medical personnel supplies to El Paso as COVID-19 cases rise across Texas. New University of Texas report says the El Paso area at high risk of exceeding hospital bed ICU capacity early next month. Many other Texas cities could see similar problems in the coming weeks. Again, just a heads up, all right? A heads up. Like I said earlier, do not ignore it, even if you don't agree with it or if you don't believe it. You can't ignore what might be happening. And this last item I'm going to bring to you this morning, you're probably going to want to reach through the screen and pop me in the nose and say, you got to know. You can't do that to us. It's Friday. But I have to, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be doing my job. I wouldn't be doing what we're here for. Brace yourself. Are you ready? USA Today, is Zeta forming? Sorry, I clicked the wrong button there. It'll come up. There you go. Is Zeta forming area near South Florida could be next storm or just bring rain. That's right. There is Epsilon, which is a current hurricane, but headed off into the Atlantic. And on the new 5-day outlook from the National Hurricane Center and NOAA, there is an area of disturbed weather right there. And believe it or not, they're suggesting that it may develop into something that it could be, 40% probability to 60% probability that it will become a tropical cyclone over the next 5 days and will probably head into the Gulf of Mexico. All right, now that I've shocked you and said that, and you're like, what? Don't get too excited and too anxious over this, because it looks like even if this does happen, that it's probably going to be a South Florida thing. But I just wanted, before you just hear it randomly and somebody goes, oh, look, there's another storm, and then everybody starts speculating, that it's coming towards southeast Texas. Just be aware that it's out there. That's all I'm saying, all right? Not exactly the way to end a Friday, but again, I just wanted to bring it to your attention this morning, all right? And that pretty much does it for me. I'm not going to spend any more time or any of your time this morning because I know you're busy. I'm busy. I'm ready to get outside. You're ready to get outside. It's Friday, as somebody said. I'm going to go make the most of it, and Saturday and Sunday before work rolls again on Monday. But I will talk to you when we see each other again, probably Monday morning, bright and early on the television show, or maybe it's back here on the Facebook page with our at-home update, and certainly we'll have that for you on Monday. Don't forget, you can follow us a variety of different ways. Facebook, of course, you're already here, KFDM News. We also have Twitter, of course, Morning TV Dan, if you want to see what's saying there. Also, the YouTube channel, if you want to subscribe, it's Dan's at Home, and we post all of our updates. They all go to that page as well. Just a number of different ways that we can stay in touch, all right? 11 days and counting until the election, and for most of us, I think we're at that point. We just want it to get here and be done, right? Everybody vote. You have until the 30th this weekend. They will have early voting, so if you haven't yet, go out and do it. And then you have until the 30th. Then they'll stop early voting, and then, of course, the general election is on November the 3rd. All right, go out and make it a terrific weekend. Check on somebody today. Make sure they're doing okay, and we will get back together next week. Until then, be safe.